So today we're going to go ahead and get started with a warm up. It's going to be a typical rebus puzzle. These are short, playful challenges that combine words, letters, and images to represent phrases or ideas. And we typically use them to encourage creativity, problem solving. You kind of interpret the visual clues and non-literal arrangement to find the meaning, and it really helps you with stretching higher levels of reasoning. It really requires you to do inferences, pattern recognitions, and flexibility thinking. All right, with that said, our quote of the week is the price of success is perseverance, the price of failure comes cheaper. This quote reminds us that achieving success requires effort, persistence, and determination. Success oftentimes doesn't happen overnight, so it takes hard work and courage to keep going, even when things get tough. Failure, on the other hand, often comes when we give up too soon or when we have the tendency to avoid challenges because they seem too difficult. I hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend and well-deserved rest and relaxation. Over the break, I went back to my hometown in San Francisco, and I have shared some of the photos on the QR codes. So feel free to explore the locations I visited and select one or a few that might have caught your interest. And as you guys know, I generally share parts of my life with you because I believe in building strong relationship, which means connecting beyond just academics with you guys. This is a glimpse into the future of our calendar, so you know exactly when the quarter ends and what to expect in the upcoming weeks. Now, this is a section that we usually do on Gifted Kids Speak Out. You could kind of think about deeply about creative questions. So if you ever wonder like why math has problems or wish for teleportation to get to school faster when you're not alone, many of my former gifted students think outside the box and notice a lot of details that other people have missed. So these are just questions to show you curiosity and creativity, which are strengths and connects you to the whole community of very like-minded thinkers such as yourselves. Before we go ahead and get started with today, I want to check in on how you're feeling. This is a part of the social emotional learning, which helps us recognize and manage our emotions. So the four words that I would describe my feeling today are content, grateful, balanced, and joyful. So where are you on the mood meter? What four words describes your feeling today before we get started? Now, before we jump into today's lesson, let's take a moment to think about what you guys accomplished last time in our lesson with your Finch robot. Last class, you guys learned how to program them. We did a speed challenge where you program your Finch to race to the top at the very quick speed. We also did shapes and fractal drawings. We did a light and color challenge where you made your Finch light up in different colors. And some of you guys even created a rainbow sequence. We also did a sound challenge where you programmed your Finch to play a tune or create your own melody. And we also had a triple threat challenge where some of you got your Finches to move, sing, light up, and draw at the same time. Today, our driving essential questions are as follows. So take a moment to read them silently. We specifically are going to explore how coding can control Finch robot to show force and motion. This is important and it matters in modern STEM learning because coding helps you build more important skills for schools and life. It assists in your process of thinking critically, being creative, preparing for future job careers, problem solving, working together, and understanding technology as you guys get older and navigate the digital world more confidently. So with this week, you should feel a little bit more empowered, not just as a creator of Finch robotics, but more of a consumer. These also tie in with the NAGC standards to help make sure that your learning is challenging and exciting. So yeah, these are some of the additional standards. Now, before we dive into today's lesson, let's take a moment to calm our minds with the C-star breathing exercise. Now, every week we have something similar to this. This week, you're going to use your finger to trace a starfish outline. Breathe in as you go up one side and breathe out as you go down the other. Remember to do this slowly for all 5 points on the star. It really helps you relax, focus, and get ready for today's lesson to learn. You guys are going to have four different stations today with your finches. Station one, your mission is to use the line tracking tiles to design and build a custom track for your finch robot. Make sure your track has curves, turns, challenges to test your finch line following skills. So first, I'm gonna go ahead and create the line track made with your finch. I have some photos there from former students and previous years. You're also going to go ahead and sketch your design before you start. So think about some of the things that you would like your maze to go ahead and have. And then you're going to build your track and combine the tiles, connecting them along the dashed lines before you program your finch. Use the line tracking sensors so that your finch can follow the path that you created. And I also included some of the templates, puzzle pieces to help you guys with your path and creations. You'll have all the instructions at each of the specific stations. And then if you think about this, line following isn't just for fun, it's actually a skill used in actual robotic competitions. So if this is something that something that you want to dabble with later on, you could definitely look into this for competitions in high school. Station two, and we're going to be doing this in a rotation, is a Finch jousting challenge. So on this station, your mission is to build a jousting maze using the materials provided. Make sure there's obstacles for your Finch to detect and avoid. Program your Finch so it can move through the maze, detect the obstacles, and you also have Lego pieces to go ahead and knock down certain things. So be creative and have fun. The goal of this activity is to combine engineering, which is your maze design, and coding, which is your sensor-based reaction. And you're going to test your Finch, improve your program until it does work smoothly. Some of the tips that I have from former students is that use a loop for repeated movements. So if you did not knock down the ball or something that you propelled up on a cup, you can do that repeatedly. Make sure you check your sensor setting. Station three. This is going to be on two different ways of thinking. It's on divergent and convergent, and you're going to use your robotic finches for force and motion. Divergent thinking means coming up with a lot of creative ideas, like all the different ways you can make your finch show acceleration or force. Convergent thinking, on the other hand, means choosing the best solution to help clearly demonstrate Newton's law. Both of these type of thinking help you guys become better problem solvers and innovators. So we're going to have the chance to practice both today. You should have brainstormed a lot of creative ideas. Really think about convergent thinking, means choosing one of the best way to show Newton's second law using your Finch robot, and ask yourself which ideas clearly demonstrate force and motion, which is the easiest to measure and explain. And once you guys pick your best solution, be ready to share what you choose with the rest of us. Your reasoning matters as much as your ideas. Station four, this is your last station. You're going to explore some fun would you rather questions about your robotic finches and the science of force and motion. So on this one, these questions are not just meant for fun. They're designed to help you guys think critically about physics concepts like friction, acceleration, energy, and of course, Newton's law. So be brave, share your reasoning and explanation why you made your choice. Remember, there are no single right answer. What matters is that you just justify your decisions about using science. So be ready to think like an engineer. A second part of the station is that we're going to continue using the 40 intriguing photos to make students think. We use the wig model because it helps you guys think deeply and it helps you reflect on what you've learned when it comes to weird. It kind of helps us notice things that surprise us. Interesting helps us find what grabs your attention. Confusing shows where you need to more clarity. And no reminds you of what you've learned. So take a look at the photo of the snow roller. From what you see about forces in motion, what do you find that is wick, weird, interesting, confusing, or something that you would like to know? And go ahead and have a conversation. And as we end today's lesson, we're starting a quick check-in or check-in called Cherry and Pit. Your cherry is something good and positive that highlighted from your day or week, and your pit is something that is challenging, frustrating, or just not your favorite. I'll share mine first so you can see how it works. And your cherries and pit can be something big or small. What matters is just being honest. All right. So now that we're approaching the end of our lessons, your exit ticket is going to be on the Padlet. So make sure you use your QR code and then click the little plus button. So we've learned a lot about forces in motion using Finch robots. Now it's time to share your thoughts using the depth and complexities icon with your exit ticket. Um, and so these are some of the questions that you have. A lot of the ideas there from depth and complexity includes big ideas, details, patterns, rules, ethics, cross-discipline, unanswered questions, multiple perspective. Make sure you post your response on Padlet and be creative and connect your answers to real world applications. You have a choice. There are several questions there. You're only required to pick 3. You're receiving the certificate because you successfully completed Dr. Callahan's Finch Frenzy Challenge. In this lesson, you explore how coding can control Finch robot to demonstrate force and motion. You apply Newton's law by programming acceleration, friction, direct changes, and you practice both divergent and convergent thinking to design and choose the best solution. This certificate celebrates your creativity, problem-solving skills, and ability to connect robotics with real-world physics. So you should be very proud of yourself. If you're ready to go beyond today's lesson, I have a Finch Robotic Force and Motion Extension choice menu. These are some activities that are designed to challenge your creativity, engineering skills. You can pick any options that interest you, whether it's designing a complex tracks, coding smooth motions, creating Finch art, or investigating how mass affects speed. Each of the choices does allow you to dive deeper into physics concept. Remember, these are optional extensions, but they're a great way to explore, innovate, and show what you guys can do. All right, I hope you guys had a wonderful time. I'll see you guys next time.